now. And the chat is open, so feel free if you do have questions. I know there will be a Q&A at the end of the presentation, but feel free to post questions into the chat or during the Q&A session. If you want to take yourself off mute, you'll certainly have the capability of doing so, but just wanted to remind people that you do have the capability of posting questions into the chat. And from here, what I will do is I will pass it over to South Jersey Industries. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany. I'm a recruiter here at South Jersey Industries, and I'll be presenting today with my colleague.
All right, and hi, I'm Erin Rinkevich. I work with Brittany on the recruiting team at SJI. Really excited to share some more about SJI with you all today. And yeah, if there's any questions in the chat, since I'm presenting, I don't think I can see the questions. But so Brittany, if you kind of want to interrupt me at any moment, if you do see any questions in the chat, that would be awesome.
Sounds good. We're so excited to share with everyone today. Like I said, super informal, so feel free to type your questions in the chat. We're happy to answer as we go along or at the end, whatever is easiest for everyone. We'll be starting today with a little history about South Jersey Industries, and we'll get into our culture and some other interesting facts about our organization. So I'm going to be starting with our organizational structure. South Jersey Industries were broken down into regulated as well as non-regulated. Regulated is our utility side, which is South Jersey Gas, as well as Elizabethtown Gas. And then we have our non-utility side, which is energy production and management, corporate, and our renewables, which is our renewable energy ventures. Next, I'm going to discuss a little bit about SJI's journey. In 1910, Atlantic City Gas Company was formed. By the 1940s, Atlantic City Gas acquired several smaller gas companies in the South Jersey region and formed South Jersey Industries as a holding company. By the 1970s through the 80s, our corporate headquarters moved to Folsom and entered several non-utility ventures with our subsidiary companies. By the 1990s through 2018, our company focus was shifted to energy, and energy services and SJRG was formed. In 2018, we acquired Elizabethtown Gas, formed South Jersey Industry Utilities. South Jersey Gas moved to Atlantic City and rebranded the SJI logo. By 2021, we renovated our SJI headquarters, dedicated to a clean energy future for New Jersey as well as our region. We are one SJI at this organization. As one SJI, our collective ambition is our framework for how we'll build the future of SJI together. It unites us under a singular vision, purpose, and aspiration, and it's driven by every one of us. Whether it's our purpose, vision, core values, strategic and operational priorities, brand promise, or our behaviors, each of us plays a role in realizing and achieving a better today and tomorrow. So to kind of break this down for you, vision, one SJI inspired to build a clean future and deliver carbon neutral energy by 2050. Brand promise, we promise to be your trusted partner, delivering energy solutions that fit your life. Strategic and operational priorities, drive growth, operate with excellence, champion a can-do culture. Our core values are safety, service, community, and inclusion. And our purpose is delivering safe, reliable, affordable, clean energy for a better today and tomorrow. We like to think big, lead and inspire, do the right thing, and deliver results. Next, I'm going to be talking about Impact SJI. So what is Impact SJI? It's a platform that enables all employees to share their ideas directly with peers and leadership with the goal of having a positive impact on the business. The focus is innovation, ideation, and collaboration. And some of the benefits include ability to connect with and drive SJI's strategic initiatives, as well as the opportunity to make an impact on the future of the organization. SJI's utilities. We're the largest standalone natural gas utility in New Jersey. So we have 10,000 miles of distribution and transmission pipeline and over 700,000 of commercial and residential customers.
And so, as you've seen, South Jersey Industries has a very robust history as a utility, over 100 years in the making. And more recently, we've definitely become a lot more than just a utilities company. I think the best way to probably describe us now is an energy infrastructure company. So while with our 700,000 customers covering 14 counties in New Jersey, we'll always be a utility as our core, and that will continue to be our core growth driver. We have made strides in sustainability and clean energy, and we're actually one of the leading companies in the United States for our clean energy projects and decarbonization efforts. So for example, 25% of our capital expenditures each year goes to infrastructure enhancement. So I'm talking about things like our fleet and our pipelines. How can we make that technology more sustainable, and how can we make that infrastructure safer and more reliable for our customers and our employees? Most notably, we've been working on clean energy projects involving decarbonization through methods like RNG, which stands for renewable natural gas, and green hydrogen. So I'll explain what these terms are because they probably are new for you. So when it comes to renewable natural gas, RNG, in our clean energy portfolio, where we house all the different innovative projects that are centered around how we can reduce our carbon footprint by the year 2040, we have about 40 dairy farms in our portfolio. So on these dairy farms, there are cows. These cows, they produce cow manure, and that cow manure emits methane into the air. That methane is bad for the environment. So it's kind of a win-win, because what we're doing is mining that methane, cleaning it up, and using the clean refined methane as a more sustainable form of natural gas. So basically what we do is when you mine the methane, you put these tiny bugs into the methane gas. It's called anaerobic digester. And those tiny bugs actually eat all of the less sustainable compounds in the methane, and they leave behind all of the more sustainable compounds. And we can actually use that refined methane in our pipelines. So we're using that same method of methane refining. We're using that same technology on landfills in New Jersey in the next couple of years. We just announced 2 major key partnerships with 2 different municipalities up in Linden, New Jersey, as well as Atlantic County, New Jersey. So we're going to be expanding our use of RNG, and that is going to help us make significant progress in the RNG space in the years to come. We're also looking at green hydrogen, exploring the feasibility of using green hydrogen similarly as a substitute for the compounds that produce CO2 in our pipelines. So green hydrogen essentially describes any carbon-free energy sources. So if you think about things like solar farms or wind farms, like windmills and mining offshore energy, you can take a very small amount of green hydrogen and use that in our pipelines as well. So as SJI continues to evolve and continues to innovate, we may see this expanding, but for right now, these are our core energy projects that we're working on. And this is how we're really making an impact sustainably in the New Jersey region and beyond. And so I know many of you may be on social media, so feel free to take out your phone, scan the QR code, and give us a follow. That QR code will take you to all of our socials. There you will find information about what SJI is doing in the news, different projects that we're working on, clean energy and energy assistance information, but also a lot about our different job opportunities. So pretty much every day, you'll see one of our recruiters, whether it's me, Brittany, or somebody else from our team, posting about all of the exciting job opportunities that we have on LinkedIn. But even if you're not on any of these social media sites, you could always go to our website. If you just Google SJI or South Jersey Industries, it'll take you right there. You could also browse our careers on our website as well. And if you want to learn a little bit more about our culture, you can always check out our Glassdoor website and read some of our reviews. But Brittany and I will break down our culture in just a few minutes. And so here at SJI, I think I've been, and I tell people this all the time, I've been so lucky to have landed at an organization that really does care about empowering their workforce and creating a culture where everybody feels comfortable bringing their full authentic selves to work every day. I mean, most of us will spend 40 hours a week at work. So we're spending a large chunk of time here. And SJI really is a company that wants you to feel comfortable and wants you to have a good time while you're at work. So we have a fantastic diversity and inclusion team that is always working on different programs centered around how we can feel comfortable, whatever our background is, expressing that culture at work and kind of leveraging what makes us all unique so that we can all be successful in our career. We boast, I think, 6 different employee resources groups here at SJI that put on events throughout the year and do different programming and help us just learn more about what makes us all different and how we can all work together the best. At SJI, you'll often hear me say, you know, this is the type of place where you're not living to work, you're working to live. And from the top down, everyone is trying to really make us feel comfortable putting our wellness first and really finding work-life balance. We have wellness incentives. If you go in one of our employee systems and you log how many minutes of exercise you're getting per day, you could actually get points that translate into cash dollars. So that's just one of the many ways that SJI is trying to help its employees put their wellness first. And that really is ingrained in our culture. It's one of my favorite things about working here. The other thing that I will say is there's a big culture of learning and development as well. We're always talking about internal mobility and how we can set folks up for the next stage in their career. This is definitely the type of place where you can, come in one position. If you decide, hey, today I'm an accountant, but 2 years from now, I want to be a financial analyst. This is the type of culture where you are empowered to take steps towards wherever you want to go in your career. We have plenty of great resources available like tuition reimbursement and free LinkedIn Learning that help make things like that possible. So just some of the different career paths that you could take here at SJI. I know that we have information technology and business students in the audience today, but you'll always hear us say, just because you went to college for one thing doesn't mean that you can't do something else someday. And like I said, there's plenty of opportunities to move around in this business. Being an operation that spans the entire state of New Jersey and now beyond that, I definitely could not fit all the different career paths that we have on this screen. But kind of being geared towards IT and business in the group today, I'll go over a couple of the different career opportunities in those areas. So finance and accounting, definitely sometimes people hear that we're an energy company and they think that all we're looking for is petroleum engineers. But we definitely have opportunities if you're a finance or accounting major. We have a very large finance and accounting group. What's nice about finance at SJI is every group has its own niche, has its own specialty. So if you're an accountant here, you are really mastering the craft of plant accounting or tax accounting, general ledger accounting, and you're able to really bounce off of other areas, and you don't really have to wear too many hats, which is nice. You have your function that you specialize in, and you can really excel in that craft. Same thing with our finance team. We have financial planning and analysis. We have financial analysts specific to our utilities and specific to energy efficiency. So lots of different paths you could take there. We also have human resources if you're a business management or HR major. And with that, we have a variety of career paths as well. Everything from recruiting and talent attraction, which is what Brittany and myself do, to compensation, training and development, labor relations, and so much more. We also have marketing and sales, and that is really geared towards bringing more customers onto natural gas as opposed to other methods of energy, but also different energy efficiency and affordability programs as well. And then for information technology, again, so many different career paths you could take. We have a pretty robust cybersecurity operation, both when you think traditional cybersecurity and protecting firewalls against hackers, but also cybersecurity specifically for our pipelines. We want to make sure that our infrastructure is also protected from any adversaries. So it's definitely a very niche specialty that you can get into in cybersecurity at SJI. We also have our IT help desk. We have network administrators that make sure that our cloud infrastructure is well maintained. And then we have so many different applications that need to be developed here at SJI. We have our ticketing software, our financial systems, our HR information systems. So many different ways that you can apply your skills. And again, if there's ever anything that you want to branch out into, everybody's always very welcoming to kind of have those coffee chats or to network and teach you about their areas. So we talked a lot about SJI and the different career paths that you could take. So if you're wondering how you can get involved with our organization and what some of those pathways are, we have opportunities for folks as early as high school. So we have a couple of high school interns every year. Every summer, we do our college internship program. So the program usually lasts from end of May, early June to mid-August, so right in time to go back to school in the fall. And we have internships across all areas from engineering to human resources and sales. There is something for every major. And for those 11 weeks over the summer, you do report to work 40 hours a week. So it's like a real sneak preview of what it's like to work full time in a corporate environment. All of our interns are assigned a mentor who helps them in their guidance throughout the summer. They go to intern exclusive events and they participate in seminars geared to help you learn more about energy industry and your own professional development. We also offer co-ops, which is just like an internship, except instead of staying with us for 11 weeks, you actually work with us for 6 months. And again, we have co-ops in a variety of areas, usually geared towards technical. And then for our entry-level position, so you're not in college anymore, you've graduated, you're looking for your first entry-level opportunity. There are 2 paths that you can take with this. So we do offer what's called our POWER program. If you've ever heard of a rotational program, it's an opportunity for you to come into our business and spend 8 months in 3 different areas each, learning about how those areas function and what you'd really like to pursue when you finish the program. So for 2 years, you rotate through these 3 different areas. Say you are in a finance power program. You might spend the first 8 months with financial planning and analysis. Then you'll spend the second 8 months with our accounts payable team, and then you'll wrap up the program with our general ledger accounting group. And then at the end, you get to decide, where you felt you were the best fit for your skills and your interests, and then you can apply for a full-time position in one of those areas. Outside of the POWER program, we also have entry-level positions that pop up throughout the year, and these could be in any of our areas. Recently, we hired some entry-level human resources professionals, some entry-level engineers, IT, all right out of college. And so as an entry-level employee, the requirement is 0 years of experience and a bachelor's degree. So you will be provided with the mentors and the resources that you need to succeed in your first role and grow in your career. So that's really everything that we wanted to make sure that we shared with you all today. So thanks so much for your time. I do want to turn it over to the audience and see if we have any questions. Again, I can't see the chat because I'm sharing my screen, but if anyone wants to come off mute, or if you want to write a message in the chat, Brittany, if you don't mind reading those, and we could always
no problem. And I was just going to say too, I see Yubritsa said to everyone, she's majoring in human resources management, so she's looking forward to seeing more opportunities at South Jersey Industries. So what I did was drop our link in the chat for our open jobs. This way everyone could just see everything that we have available. And if you have any questions, I would definitely say apply. The role goes directly to the recruiter. And also too, like Erin mentioned, we are on social media. Feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn and just say, hey, saw your presentation the other day. I'm browsing the website. had a quick question, and we're both more than happy to help you navigate any questions you may have. And I always tell people, even if I'm not the recruiter working the opportunity, I'm, again, more than happy to reach out to whoever is, get you more information, and point you in the right direction. Let's see what our next question is. Jimmy said, do you guys have any remote positions in cloud IT? So right now our IT positions are mostly in office currently, but again, I would encourage you to browse, the job website should anything change. Currently, the IT schedule is 3 days a week in office. That's across the board for all those positions. But again, positions could vary, things could change. So I do encourage you to continue to check that link that I dropped in the chat as well. Our next question. Madison said, loving all these opportunities. I will be applying for both internships and entry-level positions today. That's so exciting, Madison. And she's currently majoring in cybersecurity. That's awesome because we do have some internship opportunities, and we do get, right now, I know I'm not working any entry level, but Erin might be, or somebody else might be. So if you see it on our website, definitely feel free to apply. And what I'll do in the end, I'll drop my full name. Actually, I'll just do it now. I'll drop my full name if you want to add me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, feel free to message me via LinkedIn as well. And let's see. Jimmy said, seems like an awesome company. Seems like an awesome company. And you have a lot of experience, but you're way down in South Louisiana. Definitely still keep an eye out, Jimmy. Like I said, things could change. Sometimes we do get remote opportunities. Just because right now they're all hybrid doesn't mean in the future there won't be an opportunity for you. So we definitely would love to stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely. And something I'd like to add is we're always refreshing our job board. So if you go on our website today and you don't see something that aligns with your skills, tomorrow we can have new jobs posted. It really just kind of depends on the flow. As we have been growing rapidly, and as we have been mobilizing our workforce, as folks get promoted, there's opportunities, to post further backfills. So definitely keep checking back. Again, if you don't see something today, there could be something tomorrow, a month from now, 2 months from now. It really just kind of depends. And we're always hiring.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. And let me see what else we have here question wise. Okay, so Mona Lisa, she major in data analytics and data management. Looking forward to seeing more opportunities. Do you have any hybrid IT positions available? Yes, so I would encourage you to check our website. Those are the ones that are going to be 3 days a week in office in our Folsom headquarters. So that would be where you need to commute to 3 days a week. A lot of our IT positions specifically, not so much the internships, but the associate positions, the entry level, are on-call pieces to it as well. So you just want to make sure that would be doable for you, but we'll have all that information in the job posting. And then as I'm just reading questions here as I'm going along. If anyone has, second part to their question, or feels, they need something elaborated on further, I'm more than happy to do that as well. But I'm just going through the questions as of right now. What's next? Okay. Do you need to have a bachelor's for the POWER program, and how to apply? Yes. So it would be someone who is graduating in 2024, May of 2024, or December of 2024 in a relevant industry. So right now, it's actually broken down into strategy and business development, finance, and then another renewable ventures vice president is going to be superheading the third part of the program for each month, each one of those 8-month rotational periods. And then Amos said, my background is finance, but now doing a master's in data analytics. Is there opportunity for someone from VA? Yes, so absolutely. Again, it would depend what would work for your schedule. Our roles will list if they're hybrid or remote, so you'll know if it's a reasonable commute for you or not. So I would definitely encourage you to check our website. Matt said, I do not see any opportunities in software development and IT. Do you foresee more openings coming in the future? Absolutely. We are booming in the IT industry. It's so exciting. And I think too, and I'm sure Erin can kind of piggyback on what I'm saying as well, with just the renewable energy side of the house growing so much, there's been such growth within the company, which is so exciting. So we've seen a lot of, busyness from our IT team. So we're continuing to grow all over, but especially in the IT side of things as well. Let's see. Yavritsa. I was reviewing your benefits package overview on the website, but didn't see tuition reimbursement listed. Is that something you offer at SGI? Yes.
Yeah, so that definitely what we have posted on the website is kind of a broad overview of the benefits. We do offer tuition reimbursement. There are just guidelines that you would kind of have to meet to qualify for the program, but we do offer tuition reimbursement of up to $5,250 a year to help offset the cost of education. So I think really some of the only requirements are that it's relevant to your career, your manager approves it, and that you are getting a certain grade in your classes, but it's definitely something that we offer and could definitely explain more, once you're in the door, how that would all apply to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. I'm loving all those questions. So we have another one from Tanner. Do your finance and accounting departments work out of all locations or mainly one of them? So it's going to depend on the hiring manager. I will say so far, a lot of our roles do seem to kind of be in the Folsom headquarters for accounting, but that doesn't mean that it might not change. We do have a location in Mount Laurel. We have a union office. It really, for the most part, it's Folsom because that's where a lot of accounting team sits out of. But again, things could change. And on our website, when you're looking at an opportunity, it'll tell you exactly where it is. So it won't just say hybrid. It'll say hybrid Folsom corporate office or hybrid Mount Laurel, wherever the location may be. So you know exactly where the commute would be. And again, if you ever have any questions about a particular hybrid schedule, if there's any flex, it can never hurt to ask. Reach out to Erin or myself and just, ask any questions you may have regarding a particular role.
Yeah, definitely. What I would say about the finance and accounting, anything that's general corporate focused will be based out of Folsom, but we do have a lot of financial analysts that specialize specifically in our renewables or specifically in our utilities. So that's where you're going to find those roles that are going to be based out of Mount Laurel, Atlantic City, or Union.
All right. And then Matt said, I know a lot of positions are filled through networking. Is there any way to pass our application along to be considered for future roles? Or is it best as they apply, as they open? I would say feel free to send your resume now. I always love talking to candidates and helping people as they're going through their career. And Erin's the same way. We're both more than happy to discuss with you, even if you're just like, hey, I'm not sure what I want to do next, or it's just an exploratory call. We're both more than happy to have an exploratory call and go over what your options are, what types of roles we typically do get, even if we don't have anything. And actually, I'll drop my email address for both of us in the chat if you want to email us a resume. Even if you just want to say, hey, can you look over this for me? I'm planning to, work in cybersecurity. Is this how my resume should look? What should I be doing, as I'm trying to gain these internships across? We're happy to help with career development advice, as well as keep you in mind for any potential opportunities that may arise, as well as whatever you see on your own, of course.
Yeah, and something I'd like to add is that if you apply to a job on our website, even if you don't get that opportunity, the way our system works is once you're in our system, we will have your resume in our database. And so when we post new positions, we're able to see who's applied for finance roles in the past, who has a finance background, who's been interested in our company, and we are able to kind of look to that to fill positions as well. So in addition to, if you want to send your resume over to Brittany or me, even if you apply for a job, you'll always be in our system. And so you may be contacted periodically to apply for other jobs in the future as well.
Mm-hmm. Raymond said, let me see, sorry. Interested in learning about SCADA ICS, and I've heard there's a lot to be done on the security side of things. Is there a need, and are you looking for people with cybersecurity experience? Absolutely. We often get cybersecurity roles. Right now, I'm working a cybersecurity internship, but we've gotten various associate roles or different roles with different titles that do require some level of cybersecurity experience. And they're really in-depth job descriptions too. So it's really cool. Once you do go to the website, if you see a job title that may interest you, it'll really break down the applications that they're requiring you to use per position. And you can see if it's something that's of interest to you and if you're interested in hearing more. And we also will detail the years of experience that are required to using each of those applications so you can get a better idea of if it's a good fit for you or not.
Yeah, and Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong. I know for cybersecurity as well as our network operations and infrastructure team, they're broken down into like general internet applications and general networking, and then also SCADA specific. So on our cybersecurity team, half of the folks are more cybersecurity operations, and then the other half of the folks are focused on our SCADA infrastructure. Same thing with network and applications. We do have folks that specialize specifically in SCADA networking and SCADA applications as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, feel free to reach out because sometimes it'll say in the job description like SCADA preferred or whatever. If it's like a preferred and it's not a must-have and you maybe have dabbled in it or you aren't sure if you have enough experience to be considered, please still reach out to us. Again, just say, hey, we met during your presentation and just ask any questions you may have. Again, we're happy to help. Let's see here. Next question. And it matters for internships, are they flexible with students who also work? So I guess it would depend what your hours are for working and if it would coincide with the availability needed for the internship. It would be, since it's 11-week internship during the summer, they are working full-time hours Monday through Friday. So it would just depend if you were able to work out something with your manager. I do usually tell people the internships, you can be flexible, work with your manager, but usually still people start at 8 or 9 a.m. And then you would still have to work that 40-hour work week. So again, I guess it would depend what other hours you're working and if it would coincide with the internship that would allow you to, be considered for it. I think that is all we have for questions right now. I did drop our emails in the chat for Erin and myself. Does anyone have any additional questions we can help with?
I did have a quick one, if that's okay, if I ask. So as people are going through and applying for these positions, is there anything in particular either one of you specifically look for on a resume? Maybe it's during the interview process that would really have these individuals stand out and either move on to the interview stage or even move forward through different interviewing.
Yeah. I think,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, Erin, did you want to go first?
No, I'll go first. And then
yeah,
if you want to, okay, cool. So that's the thing too, a little bit of different perspectives between the team as well. So I would say it depends on the position as well. So for some positions, there are minimum requirements that we will outline in the job description just based on the level of the position and the skills that, we have in the organization versus the skills that we need to kind of find elsewhere in the market. So we'll put that on the job application, on the job description. And then we will look for those specific skill alignments as well. With something like an entry-level position, a lot of times what we're looking for is, if you do have internships in that area, that's awesome. But we also do look for folks that maybe on their resume, they have a list of the projects that they've done while they're in school. A lot of times folks will say, I don't have any experience doing this, but then we kind of talk about the projects that they've done in school, which might not be, paid work experience, but you're simulating a real world environment with the projects and assignments that you're doing in school. So someone who's really able to speak on what they've done academically and how they translate that into a real world environment, that's definitely helpful. That definitely stands out. Same thing when it comes to stuff like on-campus involvement or part-time work opportunities. So, just because you don't have formal work experience, but maybe in volunteering or your clubs at school, you've gotten leadership skills, teamwork skills, computer skills, problem-solving skills. These are all things that you can take with you into a job as well. So I'll let Brittany add, but I hope that helps.
That was perfect. And I was just going to say a lot of the same stuff that you just said, just really honing in on. I think a lot of the times when you're entry-level candidate, it's difficult to decipher what you should put on your resume that would in turn make you look qualified. And I feel like while entry-level positions don't require any experience, I think it's still important to add those projects on there to show what you've done, because in a sense, they are real-world experience. You're simulating real-world environments and doing those things and taking your time. And sometimes those do take you a lengthy time to do those projects, and they're important because you've done them and they're things that you would possibly do in a real-world environment. And then also too, I think it'll be a little different for internships and associates, but as you go forward, like in your career, or maybe if someone's graduating, they're looking as they go on. I will say with our organization, we do have to follow the requirements for certain roles. So if it says like entry level, it truly is entry level. You just need like the bachelor's and 0 years of experience or whatever it will say there. But whatever those steadfast rules are, we really don't have any liberty to deviate from them. So you have to at least meet those minimum requirements, and then everything else we can kind of discuss a little further. Like if you see something that says preferred, like I said, feel free to reach out to us about it if maybe it's something you haven't done, but you would like to learn. Or I think that's important too, is just really expressing interest in learning and growing too, because again, with entry level and internships, that's what it's all about. Like having the opportunity to learn and grow, and how we can help you both from an organization standpoint and wanting you to work with us, but also how we can help you, develop professionally as well.
Perfect. Thank you both for that. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Do we have any other questions? Again, I can't see.
Yeah, that was it. The last one, wait, actually, there's another one. What is the percentage for the higher rate after the internship?
I don't have a statistic. I wish I did. I don't know what that statistic is, but I will say it does happen often. Like every year, there are several folks who will either, if it's not time for them to graduate yet, they might stay on part-time or even full-time, depending on their availability, their work schedule as an intern through the next year, maybe come back the next summer for another internship, again, depending on where you're at. So I have seen that happen every year since I've been here. We've also seen folks who maybe stayed with us or went back to school and then applied for a job right after they graduated and then came back to work full-time. I've also seen folks who have done the internship with us, gone to work someplace else after graduating, and then reapplied and came back. So in so many different ways, shapes, and forms, people have completed our internship program and continued to work with us, whether it be immediately or a year or two later. So it does happen. I could think of a lot of directors and managers in our company that actually started as interns. So it is absolutely a very viable pathway into the organization. I just don't have a number or a percentage, so I apologize.
Thanks, Erin. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I don't have an exact number to provide either, but I agree with everything that Erin said. I mean, the managers really do want to see you succeed, and you get a chance not only to work with people in your department when you come on as an intern, but the other interns get to mingle as well, and they do like a presentation at the end. So it's just you get a chance to really network throughout the organization. The hope is that you want to come back and work for us, maybe in the department you worked in, but also too, you're networking while you're here. So it's just an awesome opportunity to, stay in touch with numerous different managers or other employees. And I think kind of going back to what Erin said about our culture earlier, how it's just so great and everyone really wants to see you succeed and encourage you to bring your whole self to work. That really is from the top down. Like even if you're coming in as an intern or entry-level employee or whatever level you're coming in at, everyone's willing to help you, willing to talk to you, willing to help you, grow professionally. Like whatever they can do to help, they are going to do it. You can put 15 minutes on somebody's calendar. I've done it myself with VPs in the company to learn more about renewable energy and different, things like that, where they're just willing to really sit down and talk to you, which is so, so nice. And I think really one of the big things about us that's awesome.
Yeah, and then just one more thing to add regarding the intern to full-time. Like another thing I will say is we have interns who will come intern in one area, and then even if there's not a full-time opportunity in the area that they intern in, they've actually been hired into other similar areas or completely different areas altogether because of the way that they were able to network and meet with different people and learn different cross-functional tasks in the organization. But yeah, so I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Erin. And then Carr said, also would like to know if your organization hires students to gain hands-on experience. Yeah, so that's about like Erin, if you want to take this one as well, kind of dive into our internships, co-ops, like since you were talking about that in your slides. So I thought that's a great time to kind of talk on that stuff.
Definitely. And that's a really great question. So what I'll say about that is I know I mentioned that. So the interns, they do get to go to intern programming, like different seminars where you can learn different industry operations, industry terminology, and also hone in your soft skills. But on a day-to-day, when you're not going to those intern exclusive events and seminars, you are working directly with the team. So like I said, you're coming to work 40 hours a week as an intern. It really is like a preview of what working in the office would be like if you were a full-time employee. So with that said, our interns, they do real work. These are not the type of internships where like maybe you're getting somebody coffee or you're like filing paperwork. Before the interns get here, they plan out what projects you're going to work on, what tasks you're going to support. So it's really like you're doing more of the entry level employee work, and like you're an entry level employee with the company for the summer. So for example, maybe if you were a human resources intern, you might actually be assigned some candidate calls to have to maybe do some phone interviews, which would all be supervised by one of our recruiters. Or maybe, you know, we might show you where to go out and find candidates, how to reach out to candidates on LinkedIn, and you might get to actually practice doing that. So yes, interns will get hands-on experience in their area of interest. And not only your mentor, but the people that you work alongside will always be there to show you how to do things, let you practice, and they'll watch you while you practice. When you feel comfortable with whatever the task may be, then you could start doing it on your own. But just because you've been trained on it doesn't mean that that's it, training is over, you can't ask any questions. As you continue to navigate different situations or maybe something unexpected happens, you'll always be able to ask questions, whether you're working in the office or working remotely. If you're in the office, you might go up to your coworker's desk and say, hi, can you help me solve this problem? Or if you're working on Teams, you could always hop on a video call or get in a quick group chat and work together to solve problems. So yes, I hope that answers your question. You absolutely would get hands-on experience.
Awesome. Our next question is from Matt. You talked about some specifics around the focus on wellness and mentioned the opportunity for development. Is there a formal development program for both in-role development and working toward next, or would you say it's more informal? And if it is formal, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So you can work with, yes, there's a lot of different things actually. So I'll try to kind of just hone in on a couple. One example would be our annual performance management process. So every year you go through your performance review where you have specific competencies, specific goals that you're working towards throughout the year that are all tied into our greater organizational goals, which really gets our employees aligned with our company's mission and teaches you to think strategically. So you work with your manager to set realistic and achievable goals and how you're going to accomplish them, and you carefully track your progress throughout the year. Most positions here, you're having one-on-one meetings with your manager either weekly or bi-weekly, and so you can use that time to really focus on how you are going to get to where you want to be a year from now, and also keep in mind where you want to be 2 years from now. So I would say our annual performance review process, that is definitely something that is formal. And that's one of the ways that you can kind of track your development and plan out what you need to be doing today to get where you want to be tomorrow. We also, with our talent management group, they'll do individual development plans. If you have a certain goal that you want to accomplish, whatever the timeline is, you can work with talent management to create a plan and create a checklist for how you're going to get there, and they will work with you to help you accomplish that. So it's similar to your performance review, except you're not really being rated on it. It's more so, you know, a track for you to kind of pursue and set yourself up for success the next time there's an opportunity. And then there's a lot of informal as well. So we have a fantastic training and development team that puts together trainings for our employees to learn more about the industry, to hone in on their soft skills, but they'll also bring in outside facilitators to teach us things like, you know, how you can market yourself and how you can brand yourself as an employee. We also all have free LinkedIn learnings, and so I'm not sure if any of you have used LinkedIn Learning before, but it's a great tool where you could teach yourself basically any skill, and we get that for free. So you're encouraged to kind of take your Friday afternoons to go to those trainings, to do those LinkedIn learnings, either refresh yourself on skills that you already have or build new ones. And that will kind of be more of your informal progress, but you can still track that. It all gets recorded in our HR employee system. And then maybe you are going for a promotion or you are applying to a new opportunity. You can pull up the list of all the trainings that you did, put that on your resume, or make that a part of the conversation. But yeah, so I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question.
That's great. Thanks. Next question. I currently have a bachelor's degree in law and justice. I'm at WGU completing a bachelor's in cybersecurity. Do you recommend only applying for internships? I would say internships or entry-level positions, depending upon what it is you're targeting. If you're currently getting a bachelor's in cybersecurity, I would say internships for cybersecurity. But if you're looking to maybe do something, while you're completing school in law and justice, I would say already having the bachelor's, I would try and get, sometimes there's paid internships, or you could get entry level positions as well. And I would say, with our organization, all our internships are paid, but they do require that you currently are in school, which you would meet that requirement for, if you're interested, say, if you want to look at our cybersecurity internship. And then entry level associate positions for us require that you do have completed your education. So I guess it would just depend which avenue you're trying to pursue career wise, and then you can kind of decide what you want to pursue based off that. Let's see. Next question is, what is the estimated time it takes to go through the entire hiring process? Example, multiple interviews, technical competency, and tests, etc. That will vary by hiring manager. I think that'll be ideally, we usually, I guess it depends. I would say we usually keep it around 2 interviews, Erin, right? Like 2 or 3, depending upon the team and the level of the role. For entry level, probably no more than 2.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it depends on the position. So maybe for something like an IT position or engineering, there might be a technical component which can make the interviews a little bit longer. And that technical component is normally a technical interview. It is not normally like you have to complete a function or anything like that. It's more so kind of spoken. If you have materials that you want to present to the interview team, you can. But yes, it absolutely depends on the position. For every position, you would follow a similar process. So first is the job application. A recruiter reviews every single application. So there's no like software that is reviewing your resume. It's our eyes. So we're screening and seeing, kind of who fits the qualifications and pass and kind of making the short list from the initial group of applicants. Every position will involve a phone screen. So that's a call with someone like Brittany or myself or someone else on our team, where you kind of go over the core competencies of the position. We go over, what you're looking for and make sure that everything is aligned. Then after that phone screening process, for some of our positions, not really our corporate positions, but for like our call center and some other union positions, there might be a technical assessment. For a lot of our more corporate positions, after the phone screen, you would be considered for the shortlist for the interview. And then each position usually has 1 or 2 interviews with the hiring manager. So the hiring manager is the person who would essentially be your supervisor if you were hired. So they're the ultimate hiring authority making the decision. You might meet with other people from that team as well. And then again, usually that's 1 or 2 rounds, usually a video interview, but we are doing in-person interviews a little bit more now that we're kind of back in the office. And then after that, there could potentially be a job offer and kind of going through that process. As far as how long that takes, it really depends on like applicant flow, how quickly we're looking to fill the position, people's availability to interview and things like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a number of factors. Just want to piggyback on what Erin said. It'll vary per position. We do try and get them done as quickly as possible, but again, it depends. It could also depend what time of year you're interviewing. Like a lot, if somebody's out on PTO a lot, like there's certain months people are out on PTO more than others and can kind of delay the process. But we usually try and work as swiftly as we can. And then regarding like any tests or anything like that, we'll always be upfront if we do have anything like that. Like I know right now I'm working a communications role and it requires a writing sample. I'll tell you that during our phone screening process. But most of the time, like Erin was saying, it's usually, especially in the IT space, it's usually more so like a technical interview, more so than like an actual test or if you have anything you want to present. Sometimes they may ask if it's relevant. If you have anything in the IT space or like I was just saying, my communications role, writing sample, depending upon what the role is and what they felt that they would need you to present in order to prove that you can, do the role. Okay, I think, let's see. Okay, here we go. I have an associate's degree. I have almost 5 years of experience as a project manager. Right now, I'm working as a project manager at a local construction company. I'm pursuing data analytics at, did I read this one already? Is it going back up? Oh, no, wait, here we go. Sorry. No, it didn't. Sorry. Do you suggest me look for entry level or internship positions? I would say I would look for, I mean, it depends what you're looking for. I would say for both. Why not? I would lean towards the entry level positions right now though, or even you have experience as a project manager. You don't necessarily have to do entry level if you want to stay in that space. I guess it would depend. So if you're trying to move forward in the data analytics and data management field, then I would say internship, and then once you complete the degree, entry level. But if you're trying to stay in the project manager realm, then I would say no, not entry level. Maybe even like if there's like level twos or intermediates or seniors, whatever. I guess would depend on the job description that's at hand. But I feel like you have a wide, variety of options depending upon what field you're looking to really stay in.
Yeah, it depends. Everything Brittany said, it depends on the position that you're kind of looking to apply to. And all of our job descriptions will say the experience levels. So it'll normally say like a bachelor's degree and 2 years of experience or additional experience in lieu of degree. That's just an example, right? So if you have an associate's degree, kind of think about that as like another 2 years of experience kind of in lieu of a bachelor's degree. So you can kind of look at the job descriptions that way and see like, is the job description looking for a direct 5 years of experience in data analytics or just 5 years of work experience in general. But we'll always specify it. And like Brittany said, it really depends on what role you're looking for. If you want to do an internship and kind of take on an intern level role, or if you want to be a full-time employee, and what best suits you. So.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Oh, wait, here we go. Bachelor's in cybersecurity and a security plus, but 8 years experience only as a tier 1 tech. How can I find upward mobility? I would say position yourself in roles, like our organization, we really have opportunity for growth. I think a lot of it's going to be conversations that you're having with management as well. I would say definitely apply to what you meet the qualifications for, but definitely advocate for yourself once you get into the role and have those open conversations with your manager about my end goal is to be, I'm just going to say something for sake conversation, a manager. Maybe you want to be a manager, or maybe you want to be a level 5 or whatever the opportunities are within our organization, or if it's another organization. And really just have those conversations about how can I grow? And I think that's one of the awesome things about SJI. I'm always hearing conversations with people. I started in this department 12 years ago. And now I said, I want to join, I want to join HR, but I've been working in engineering. And I spoke with, my recruiter because we stayed in touch and we maintained a great relationship. And then I got the help that I needed to take X course and this course and really be, linked up with who I needed to talk to within the organization to get that career path started for them. And then now they're in a different role because they advocated for themselves and learned about what they needed to. And in your case, really, it sounds like you have a lot of experience. So even like 8 years as a tier 1, don't feel like you need to apply to only tier. At this point, you're qualified for the next level up, depending upon what the roles are based on your years of experience. But again, it'll depend what the job description says. Like if you've only been doing a certain amount of things that may be the minimum for the role, maybe they want to see more. Again, no harm in applying to an entry level or tier 1 job again and advocating for yourself to grow up. But if you find you're meeting the experience on level 2 roles, don't hesitate to apply for those either and express like, I've been wanting to get into level 2, but at this time I've only been awarded the opportunity for level 1. This would kind of be me putting, my foot in the door. What do I do to get to this next step? And having those open conversations with recruiters like myself and Erin, who can advocate for you as well, is also very helpful because we share the notes from our call with the hiring manager and we share those things with them to, really advocate on your behalf.
Yeah. And like something that we'll do is like, say you apply to a position and like for whatever reason we couldn't move forward with you because of like maybe your years of experience, right? Like something that we'll do is we'll reach out and we'll say, hi, we saw your application, we unfortunately can't move forward, but we have this position, are you interested in that too? So just because maybe you weren't move forward with for one opportunity doesn't mean like we're always keeping everybody that we see in mind for future opportunities that might be a better fit.
All right. Well, we're at time. But I did want to just remind people that this session was recorded, and we will be sending the recording out probably sometime this afternoon. Also attached to that is a questionnaire. We just ask that you take the time to fill out the questionnaire. It should take you no more than 2 minutes to fill that out, but wanted to thank the SJI team, Aaron and Brittany. Thank you so much for jumping on and presenting and then answering all of our questions. We greatly appreciate that. But I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of the day.
Thank you for your time and all the questions. We were so happy to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. It was
Have
nice
a good
talking to
day.
you all.
Take care.
Bye.